Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafty Corner. Today I just got in, just picked it up at the front door because the mailman was so nice and dropped it off right in front. I just got in the fuse foiling system from Gina K. It's been out of stock, so I've been on their waiting list, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the box and we're going to give it a first try and see how this guy does. So it is this lovely amethyst color, and I don't think I knew this ahead of time, but the button on the front is this pretty teal and it's all shiny, so that is kind of cool. Let's go ahead and get it out of the packaging. I think that is simply lovely. Of course, I'd rather it be blue, but it does have teal on it, so that is a plus too. Okay, taking this protective paper off, or protective plastic off rather. And so that's that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and take a look at all the other goodies that came in the box. Okay, so first we've got the manual that is going to tell us all the things that we need to know about our machine. I'm going to keep that handy. Got carrier sheet, got gold foil, got starter packs, which are some fancy foils, Gina K, and I think this is this Thermoweb? Yes, made by Thermoweb. So we've got wild lilac and amazing amethyst, and then 14 karat and sterling, so silver and gold and pretty purples. Okay, then I've got some polyglaze. I'm trying to remember what I think the other bit that I ordered, because I didn't know what all was going to come in. I think I read it and didn't pay attention. I've got another thing of polyglaze, so that's going to be fun to figure out what that actually is. The results I saw online were very pretty, but I haven't actually tried any of them yet, so this is going to be fun. So I've got some polyglaze, and then these two I think are basic. I don't know if they're polyglaze or not. I just know that they are foilables, so we're going to be giving these a shot, and both of those would be great on a card. So first things first, I need to know what temperature I need to go with. My understanding of the buttons is that it will tell you, which heat you need to use for what. And all of that should be in the book. Plug it in, turn it on. Press the green button to move between settings. Already figured that part out. When the machine reaches appropriate temperature, approximately 1 to 3 minutes, the LED light will stop blinking. So it's already to that one. So if I turn it on, now it's going to start blinking red, and then once it gets to that temperature, it'll stop. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, and then just instructions showing you how to foil. And now here's the important part. It's at the back. This is going to tell you recommended usage. Glassine bags, lightweight coated paper, lightweight uncoated paper, uncoated cardstock, chipboard, toner reactive glitter sheets. Wow. So I'm going to I think that this is probably uncoated. Looks kind of coated. I'm going to say this is coated, so I'm going to put it to 2, and we're going to try one of these out with some of the pretty foil. And I'm just going to use it out of this sample sheet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it down to about the size of my card here. And put this in the carrier. So we've got our little plastic carrier here. And I'm also going to dust off any dust that might be under there. And it looks like my machine is already ready to go. Look at that. The light is already green. So if I've got the right temperature, this will be a good test. And this has got a lot of static. It's not wanting to stay down. Stay there. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to run that through and we shall see how it does. There we go. And this will tell me whether or not I've got it at the right heat. It might be that for these, I need it to be higher heat, but I don't know yet until I've tried it. So I'm just going by what I'm interpreting the instructions to be. Okay, so you can tell it's gone through. I do have some wrinkles, and that's probably because of all the static. So let's wave it around a little bit to cool it a little bit and take a look. Ooh, that is perfect. That is perfect. And you can tell it's perfect because when you look at the waist, basically all of the lines are perfect. That means this is something I'd be able to use. I can go back and use that on something else. Yeah, I like using my waist foil for things, which means now I have to rethink how to do waist foil for toner sheets. So on this, it looks like I do have a little bit that's not quite right. That's that little wrinkle right there. But other than that, this is basically mirror perfect. That is fabulous. Okay, so I'm doing the other one. I'm doing the same thing, just going to cut my foil down to size. Okay, and I'm actually doing 2 pieces of foil on this one. That's because I won't want to use up the scrap. And this will also tell me how it works when you kind of layer it over each other a little bit, because I've had mixed results on that with regular toner foiling. So I've got 2 pieces on. There is an overlap there, and I'm going to go ahead and send that one through. Okay, let's see how those balloons look. Oh. And it did fine even with that overlap. That is lovely. And I'm trying to hold it in the light so I can see right across where I know it overlapped, and I think it looks perfect. This is going to look, both of these are going to look great on a couple of cards. Love that. So next I pulled out, move all of my waste foil out of the way. I pulled out the polyglaze. Like I said, I'm not really sure what it is. And I'm looking at this, and to me, it looks kind of like, it's not like it's printed. It almost looks like maybe transfer gel on top. And I think that's going to be kind of interesting. So let's see how that is going to turn out. I'm going to use the other sheet that is left in this little sample pack. And trim it down. And this one is A2 size, so there's not going to be as much waste left over. And I'm just going to leave that bit on the edge. Okay, now put that into my carrier sheet. And we're going to run that through. Okay, so let's take a look. And that is gorgeous. All those pretty stars. Yay, I'm loving this. I think the next test would be to compare it between this and my older Cronova laminator, which I'm thinking it probably wasn't getting as hot. Also, I need to do something where I print out on my laser printer and try that out. So that I think is gonna be next. Okay, so I just printed out different sizes, different lines, different things, just as a test. 2 copies on 1 piece of regular weight cardstock. This is actually just some regular weight accent opaque that I tend to use for my my card panels. And I'm gonna trim this down so I can fit them inside that carrier sheet. I've also got my Cronova laminator heating up back here because it typically needs more time to heat up. So I'm going to do the first set. I'm going to do using the new fuse. I'm also using some foil that I have in my stash that I don't really know where I got it. Because when you're buying something new, you do want to still use some of the stuff you've already got, right? You don't want to always have to use all the new things to get a result. So I'm just going to use, let's see. I'm going to cut this in half because it is 8.5 by 11 sheet, and that's how big my paper is, right? And this will be a good test because it'll be the exact same foil, exact same printing of everything that I'm using for both systems. And yes, I know that this is a bit big for the piece, but that's okay. I left plenty of space in between each of the lines of images. I'm going to go ahead and run this one through and get the next one ready. And again, all of these that I'm doing right now are going through the fuse, and then I will do the ones going through the Cronova because it will have had time to heat up really nicely. So I have no idea if my toner is good enough or not. My assumption is that the reason I've had issues with toner foiling in the past, not getting as good of an impression as I want, is that I just didn't have it hot enough for my toner. That being said, I'm going to run this first one through just on 2, just like we did the others. The next one, if it doesn't turn out well enough, I'm going to go up to level 3 and see if that does any better. Okay. Let's see how it does. And I'd say that looks perfect. Could probably use a tiny bit more heat because I think there is a little bit that didn't transfer. So I will go up to level 3 on it the next time. But yeah, that looks really, really nice. Okay, we're going to go through that one more time. Let's see how this does. So our next one, again, we've got it on level 3. And I think that looks perfect as well. There was a little dot of dust there, and so it wound up adhering a little bit of the foil out of place, but I think that still looks really good. So one thing that I have, I didn't do, I did the first one, but I didn't do with the rest, is I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to dust it off to be on the safe side, to make sure we don't have additional toner dust anywhere that it's not supposed to be, and that sort of thing. So we're going to go one more time. I am also liking this, the carrier sheet. I have in the past been using parchment paper to go through my laminator, and it's worked fine, but this I think is really nice. It lets me be able to see exactly where everything is, and I think I'm gonna need another one. I need a bigger one. And it's perfect again, even these teeny lines. Everything looks fabulous. So I am very, very happy with the results using the fuse. So now I need to check and see, maybe using this in my Cronova will make a difference. I don't think so, but I have a feeling it's not going to do nearly as well as these did. This is so lovely. Let me go ahead and trim these down and swap out my laminators. Okay. So going ahead and trimming down for the first image here. And making sure to do the little bit of dusting. And I'm going to put this into my Gina K carrier sheet. And run that through the Cronova. Now the Cronova has got a wider slot so you're able to laminate larger pieces. So that is good, but not getting, I got the thing because I wanted it for multiple purposes. One was laminating, of course. Another was foiling. And I've had decent not good, decent results on foiling, but then I had some issues when it came to the toner. I thought all of my problems were having to do with the toner actually being on the paper well enough. So I've done a lot of adjustments and such. And the last ones that I got, I was able to get some decent results using my heat press instead of the laminator. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Okay, so we can tell this is not as hot. Does not work nearly as well as the Gina K. Now I do have foiling on there. You can see it. But if you look close, you can see the texture's not that well, and you can tell looking at the waste that it didn't take all of the foil off. So it did not get hot enough to pull all the foil off. So this one right here tells me that it's not as good. Let's compare it to the other of that same image. And I need some white cardstock to go underneath so we can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is the one with the Gina K. And this is the one with the Cronova. And let me see if I can, I'm going to lift this up so that you can see better, because this camera does not have a optical zoom. So this is the one with the Gina K, and this is the one with the Cronova. So they both have got shine, but I don't get nearly as much transfer using my Cronova laminator. And this is the one that I've been using for, I don't know, 4 years. I use it off and on. I used it a lot at the beginning, and it's done fine. But then I started not getting as good of results, and I thought it was the toner. And turns out it was that this isn't getting quite hot enough. Now, it may be heating up even more, and it may wind up that some of the results are going to get better. But you saw that the Gina K took like, what, 2 minutes to heat up nice and hot. Okay, let's do another one. Because, you know, first one could be a fluke. And we'll do the one with the little happy faces. And I'm remembering to dust everything off, where I did not do that the first time around with my Gina K. And I'm also thinking that I may be getting a little bit better results because the carrier sheet is nicer than me using parchment paper. Parchment paper did help a lot compared to just copy paper, which is what I started with. But this has been working better. I think it's actually letting more of the heat go through. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, you can tell on the very first image that there is a lot of the foil that stayed on the plastic that did not transfer. I mean, that is a very obvious difference. So this one is the Gina K and this one is the Cronova. And guys, I'm doing this test, partially I'm doing this test because I want to know. I want to see the difference. I want to know that getting this new machine is actually going to make a difference in my foiling. And so far I'm seeing that yes, it's going to make a big difference. I'm going to be able to do a lot more toner foiling. I already do a lot of hot foiling with my glimmer system. Absolutely love it. But I'd like to be able to do more foiling with doing more toner foiling and that sort of thing, and this looks like it's going to be perfect for that. So here is the last one, and almost all of the foil came through. So this is proving to me that it wasn't, my toner may be a little bit of the issue, but it's not the biggest part of it. This is coming through really, really nicely. It's good enough that you wouldn't really notice it unless you're looking at the waste. Okay, so here's that last one. And while I can see some foil on the paper, looking at the waste foil, yeah. I can see that a lot of it did not go through at all. So I'm happy I got myself a new foiling system. So I'm going to say that the Gina K is fabulous. I love it. And again, this is not necessarily going to be the very best foil that I'm using because I don't remember where I got it from. I just know I got a lot of sheets of it. It was not in a roll. I don't have the packaging for it. I do have some thermal web that should work fine with this, but I also want to use up some of the stuff that I've already got in my stash because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, right? So anyway, I'm going to say that the Gina K is a winner here. Absolutely love it. So you guys have a great day, and yeah, check out the playlist below to see some more foiling videos, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.